My name is Aaron Honda, I'm 16 years old, and this is my story. I've spent a lifetime writing my story, breathing every sentence, walking every punctuation, living every moment, and tapping to the rhythm. That's right, the rhythm. Some might find a life story set to rhythm unusual, but for a tap dancer, which is who I've become, a life without rhythm would be unbearable. I never understood rhythm until, at the noble age of 8, I accompanied my mother to a veterinary conference in Florida. While there, the great Gregory Hines performed a one-man show. I was able to witness firsthand his style, grace, and charisma. He enchanted me and opened my eyes. He became a role model and an inspiration. From that moment, I clearly understood that I was destined to be a tapper. The following years, I took my first step in the direction of entertainment. Reaching out for this dream was not easy. I was born an only child to Catherine and Edward Honda. As an only child, I developed a tight connection with my parents who willingly and enthusiastically supported me in everything I did. I was lucky. My mom was the founder of an Academy of Performing Arts and understood entertainment. Besides my parents, my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins also became a major part of my life, encouraging me to reach out and attain my dream. To further complicate the pursuit of my goals, we lived in rural southeastern Arizona, where opportunities for dance education, and particularly tap, didn't exist. I was fortunate. My mother's tap teacher, Maxine Huff, then 80, became my tap teacher. She not only taught me tap, she, like her teacher, the great Bojangles, taught me the love of tap through the history and the skill required. When I was 9, she choreographed my first tap solo, for which I was awarded first runner-up at the American Dance Awards national competition.
Hello, my name is Aaron Honda. I am 9 years old and I am from Hereford, Arizona. I am contestant number 5.
I continued to win several prestigious awards, such as Teen Mr. Dance of Arizona. With the encouragement of my family, I was moving forwards towards achieving my goals. As I worked harder, my efforts were paying off. My dance ability earned me the honor of taking classes from the legendary Ann Reiking, who took a personal interest in me and encouraged me to continue dancing. I soon discovered I was not a classical tapper or even a hoofer. I was never a rhythm tapper. I was something more, something different. I was a painter. Except I wasn't interested in painting on any canvas, but on the blank canvas of silence. I was determined to change my world and the world around me, one tap at a time. In a sense, I suppose some might think I'm crazy. In my world of competition, it seemed that tap was never as well received as hip-hop, jazz, or ballet. My mission is clear: to inform the world of the importance of tap, for you to see that tap, in my experience, is the rhythm drum of the human spirit. My journey towards this life endeavor began in the small rural community of Hereford, Arizona. The journey wound its way through Sierra Vista, where I attended school, then on to Tucson and Phoenix for dance classes. For 5 years, up to 6 days a week, my mom would chauffeur me 180 miles round trip from my home in Hereford to the closest major city, Tucson, to take my dance classes. Each day was working, perfecting, failing, and achieving, always with the rhythm of tap as my guide. During this time, I had the privilege of attending a tap workshop in San Diego, California with my dance team. This is where I fell in love with contemporary tap. My mom and I found ourselves occasionally adding a few extra miles to our trip to take classes in contemporary tap 170 miles away. The workshop environment was very appealing. Eventually, I attended workshops in Los Angeles, Detroit, and New York. Along the way, I worked with and took classes from the tap greats such as Professor Artie Bryant, Professor Richard Reed, Brill Barrett, Miriam Nelson, Sarah Reich, Greg Russell, Sarah Petronio, and Chloe Arnold, to name a few. Not only were they great professors of their art, but their presence as human beings and their selflessness to their chosen art of tap was a major inspiration. At my 16th birthday party, I had the pleasure and privilege of having Professor Artie Bryant as an honored guest. As one artist to another, I realized that regardless of our differences or skill level, we exist in the same world, that is tap dance. Life wasn't easy for a teenage boy who was in love with tap. For a good portion of my life, I was the weird kid, the one who danced. Can you picture me in a football uniform? Definitely not my costume of choice. However, I was able to make others feel my dream during the 8th grade talent show. This time I put myself under the spotlight and forced the attention not on me, but on my art. Tap. Since, I've had the support I've always hoped for. I have always had strong support of my performing arts family, both immediate and extended. Their efforts have allowed me to tell this story. From the beginning, my grandmother, or Mimi as I like to call her, has flown across the country with me, attended every performance of mine, and has cheered me on every step of the way. She, next to my mom, has been one of my biggest continuous supporters.
Aaron, let's see what we can find to eat in the refrigerator. But not that. That's my supper. You can have the casserole.
But of course, when I'm not traveling, I can be found in her kitchen, eating her casserole, or her spaghetti, or her chili, or whatever else I find in her house that happens to be edible. And then after I finish eating, I'll take a trip outside and play, in what I like to call La La Land. This is my grandpa, or as I like to call him, my papa. And what he likes to do most times is just sit around and read his books. But he is also a very good woods craftsman, and he creates stuff that no one's ever seen before. Like this. This is a pooping moose. My other grandpa, whom I call Grandpa, is my dad's dad. And he's my travel buddy when it comes to Hawaii or Little Tokyo, LA. He too is a grand supporter of what I do, and without him or my other grandparents, none of this would even be possible, or even conceivable. Now, my family is a huge part of my life, and sometimes it can be the hardest part about writing this script. When I was 12, I lost my Aunt Paula. I don't want to talk about that subject too much, but she was a remarkable person. Her passing made me realize something. Sometimes dreams don't come true. But it's better to go down fighting for them than to give up. I don't believe she's gone. She just chooses to watch me from an aerial view. From New York down to LA, I have performed across the country, entertaining people with my art form. I believe there will never come a day in which I will stop tapping. Even when I'm dead, my bones will have a ball. Tap is me, and I am tap. My canvas is no longer silent because I tap. And in the end, that is the most important thing. Knowing who you are and what you can do. But it doesn't stop at my feet. I also love singing and writing. I write and compose music. I even compose the music for this video. While I spend most of my time on my craft, I also understand the importance of education. I maintain a 4.2 GPA and realize that without education, there can be no future. I am currently working on my EP and hope that one day I can make it to pop stardom.
I just can't get you out of my brain, and I'm going insane without you, baby. When I picture my world without you as my girl, I can feel my pulse go crazy.
My determination has gotten me far and continues to get me farther every day. However, in the end, tap is my first love and my brush. And with every stroke, a class here, a show there, a dream and a pair of shoes, I work every day to paint my picture of rhythm and sound onto the silence of this world.